So at this step, it's time to covering our wood ball joints with this paper, strips of paper. I decided to use craft paper. It looks more close to the tone of color, the color of the wood. I want to be like very shiny and white inside the ball. Also, the quality of the paper. It's not glassy. It's very close to the texture of the wood. Also, this paper strips is not just for beauty of the instrument, of the inside of the instrument. It also covers the joint to stop moisture to go inside the joints, and it gives a strength by stopping the moisture to go inside the joints. Also, it works like a spring. It helps the wood ball to be more strong with the forces that comes from the end. In some cases, that if the instrument drops accidentally, it very helps the wood ball to be more strong. Also, because the paper is the same quality and same material as the wood itself. After gluing these paper strips, it's kind of gives you more strong connection between the woods. Also, during the process of getting dry, you will feel that shrinking of the glue when it gets dry. It helps to keep the wood connections very, very nicely. I remember once I used hide glue, and hide glue is very glassy when it gets getting dry. And then I use normal PVA glue for gluing these paper strips inside my wood ball. And then I heard some very, very tiny and small cracking sound during the drying process. When it's getting dry, they shrink. This strip shrinks the connections, so you could hear a very, very tiny cracking sound that I didn't like. But I understand that this paper strips could be very, very powerful in shrinking the connection and keep the wood ball more strong. Also, I didn't open this bar during the process, because when these paper strips are getting dry, they shrink the wood ball and it changes the shapes of the ball, and I didn't want to happen. So I didn't open this during the process, and I keep it until I finish the work. I finish working with the wood ball. I will keep the bar as long as possible. So let's see the process of how I use and I glue these paper strips inside my wood ball. So the paper I used for this purpose is a craft paper. I like the texture, the quality of this paper, because it's close to the wood ball color also. And when you put the glue on, the PVA glue on, it absorbs some water of this the glue, and it will stick to the joint and shrink the joints together. So I really like the quality of this paper. I heard that in some old days, luthier uses some kind of linen fabrics. These days, some luthiers use linen paper also, or some kind of semi-glassy, and some papers which consist a little bit plastic. But I don't like those papers. I really like to use this kind of crafts. Normally I use lighter type, but I couldn't find right now a lighter paper. But it's not that thick, but it's good. I tested last night, so I want to cut it in strips to use it in my wood ball joints. So with this piece of aluminum, I just use this piece of wood to determine the size of the papers and cut them with a cutter. So I think it's the easiest way I can find. It takes a little bit time, but it's good if you start. So this is what we need to cover our wood ball joint. So I slowly, try to keep the strip exactly in the middle, and put the joint in the middle of this paper strip to have a beautiful covering. Normally I use a normal PVA glue that has some kind of elastic characteristic more than Tide Bond glues, and it helps to have a better function of these paper strips here, because we need some flexibility later on after fixing. Then I start to extract and put out any extra glue under the edge of this paper strip, if any left. And then I use a piece of fabric to completely pushing the strip and have a perfect gluing